This is a deck from the spare parts Bosch machine, and my friend Don and I went downtown to storage a couple days ago and pulled it out. They unplug, and there's two screws that holds the back of the frame in, and then there's a couple of screws on the preamp, and this unplugs and this unplugs, and then the whole, well, you have the guide air, the guide vacuum, and then the head wheel air that unplugs, and the whole thing slides out as one unit. And that's really handy, the way they built that as a transport. Well, today I'm going to take this rubber pinch roller arm off. The other one is bad, and this one is soft, so it's going to go bad. And there we are. That's the press arm and the rubber pinch roller off of the Bosch. And of course, you take that hex head Allen bolt out, and that gets this free. And not a whole lot to it. Well, here we are in the shop on the workbench now with our press arm and rubber pinch roller off of the Bosch. So let's see if we can get this thing apart. Have a Allen on the bottom side here. This, unlike a a kind of more conventional roller you would see on an Ampex or an RCA, this is a self-centering roller. In other words, like you would have a yoke, a C type of a yoke on an Ampex or RCA. This has one bearing in the center here, and that makes it movable from either end. So this is a self-centering roller, when it's under pressure. Kind of like the old TR4 RCA. In a way, that press arm was in between two rollers, one roller on each end, and the press arm was in the middle, applying the pressure. So this is basically that same principle, since there's just one bearing inside here, then this arm is applying pressure to the center rather than from each end. So let's see. hex screw out here, and this little cap here on the end unscrews. It's a little threaded cap with very fine threads. I don't know what that pitch would be, but it's something like you would see on a microscope or a lens. It's very fine pitch. Now down in there is the bearing, and there's a little snap ring. So we'll see if we can snap it off. And there's the roller with a single bearing, and then that's the shaft that it rides on. So now, I don't know how much you can tell from the video, but this rubber is, it looks like it's in one piece and all, and it is, but when you start, you know, you can stick a fingernail in it. So it's decomposing, and it's soft, you know, and it's a little bit sticky, not much, but it's beginning to get sticky. So that's the sign, you know, when you can stick your fingernail or a screwdriver in it and then it leaves a dent, and then you know it's decomposing past the point of use. Now we're over at the machine, and as you can see, the rubber is already decomposed, and it's fallen off of this roller and press arm. So we'll get the aluminum part off for re-rubbering. So we want to apply the pressure in the middle of this tube. That's where the roller bearing is seated, is at the midpoint, so that's going to be its strongest point. And see if we can get this broke loose. That didn't take much force, thankfully. And once again, we remove that compression ring. There it is. So this one here, I'll clean the residue off of it, and I may put it in the lathe and knurl the surface